guys, it's Malachi here. I'm back with another video today. I decided to come on camera and talk about something that's pretty heavily prevalent right now in the collective. We see so much stuff in regards to the divine feminine rising and healing, but we don't see a lot of stuff about the distorted masculine and him getting to be awakened. And so I felt that there needed to be a new video on why we're ignoring the masculine and how the masculine can awaken. And there's a few points that I want to go over to bring some clarity on things that the masculine can do. And we got to remember that we have both feminine and masculine qualities within us. So while we're working on our feminine aspects and we're rising and we're all empowering of like sisterhood and things like that, we also have to be very aware of the masculine traits within ourselves. And like often when we discuss masculine energy, we aren't being honest with ourselves, because like we think about the fact that there's very few people, very few males, very few energies around that want to focus and do the work on it. So anyways, let's face it, like there's so much overwhelming negativity around the masculine in the collective. So much. And this is why I feel that this video is very necessary, because when it comes to finding true, mature, and integrated male energy, whether in a male or female, it's very rare. It's almost like a mythical creature, like thinking of a unicorn and dragons. Like it's almost non-existence. And why is this the case? Like it shouldn't be the case. There should be more out there for the male perspective. There's so much toxic masculinity being pushed as ways for healing, and it's sad. So I'm hoping that with this video it can help it can touch a lot of more lives to help understand better positive ways to integrate the divine masculine within all of us, whether we are male or female. And unfortunately, like if you look back at our history in life, like the shadow side of the masculine is super prevalent. It's super, like, it's always being, in tarot, for example, it's always coming up in readings. It's never explaining how to get out of that. And, like, it's showing how the masculine is super domineering, destructive, stuck in the ego, not balancing themselves out, being ignorant to the advice that's being given around them. And therefore, this makes us lose interest and say respect for the fundamentals of the masculine energy. And the truth is that like there has been so much suffering and inflated ego driven through centuries, through destruction and the man, government authorities, things like that, kings wiping out existence, like so much oppression, greed, prejudice, and like corruption, really. And this crusade, they went around hunting witches. Excuse me. There is so much genocide, racial wars, wars over like countries, over profit, things like that. Murders being committed, things in regards to racial cultures, fighting each other, terrorist groups. The list goes on and on about the atrocities that are being committed by male masculine energy. And it's no wonder that it leaves this bad taste in our mouths, and it's no wonder that there's so much in the collective pushing hate and ignorance around the masculine energy. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 9 different ways that the masculine can awaken and tap more into his lighter side to balance out that side of himself. Again, this energy is linear, so it applies to both male and female aspects. Bilinear, whatever you associate with, it doesn't really matter. We all have these energies. And we're going to talk about like the confidence, ability to be objectified, about critical thinking, analyzing things, how to balance, how to get within the warrior within, increasing stronger boundaries in regards to other people, more self-awareness and assertiveness, willpower, self-discipline, etc., mental clarity, the list goes on. So, like I said previously, spiritual maturity is about honoring balancing both sides of our nature. We all have masculine energy, feminine energy, and it's about finding the equilibrium between the two. Once you find this balance, life becomes a whole lot easier to navigate through. And when we keep suppressing and ignoring all of these traits within us, it makes us feel less than and causes a lot of immaturity in and fuel victim mentality state, and it fuels our shadow side. I talk a lot about shadow side in work that I do, whether it is tarot work, past life regression, soul retrieval, or me just working on chakra energy. I talk about the dark and the light aspects of ourselves and the perpetual difference between the worlds and how to balance them. So we're going to start off here with the types of ways we can awaken this masculine positive energy within ourselves. The first one is examining old wounds surrounding the masculine. Okay, so if you have been experiencing a lot of traumas in regards to supportive male figures in your life, for example, your father, your brother, male friends, bosses, things like that, you really need to analyze your relationship and the connection to these men and what they have done to you in the past. What things were triggering you? So what are your subconscious beliefs around these different things, biases, and prejudice feelings towards these men? Like, are you constantly getting invoked anger and rage? Becoming very clear of these blockages and mental restraints will reveal to you how to strengthen a healthier bond within your divine masculine energy. So a good way to do this is to start reflecting on these experiences and writing these things down the moment it arises. What are you feeling when you think of these different people? Is there abandonment issues that are coming up for you? Is there friendships that you feel aren't really trustworthy? Or do you feel alienated? Are there feelings of love? Are there feelings of hate? What is your emotional connection when you start focusing on the male impacts around your life? And when you do this, it becomes to make you more conscious of how you're reacting to certain people and situations when life becomes stressful. Number 2 is taking self-responsibility. After you look at yourself and you write down all these different things, what are your actions? Are you taking responsible for your happiness, or are you doing things because you're stuck in a victim mentality mode and you want to be rescued? A lot of times when we are stuck in the shadow aspects of and the distorted masculine of ourselves, we don't hold ourselves accountable to our feelings. Excuse me. And from our feelings stems action. So, are we blaming other people for things that happened to us in our past? Are we blaming things for not happening in our lives? Are we constantly saying, woe is me, why did this happen to me? You really need to dive deep into why these things are happening and know that it is pointless and a waste of energy to blame it on anybody else but you. We need to start being respectful to ourselves, becoming at it with a more mature and proclaimed warrior style energy. And when I say warrior style energy, I'm talking about understanding where you have done things to make actions happen and events happen within your life. We constantly, when things are going awry, we think that it's everybody else around us. But when you're truly in touch with your masculine energy, you realize that you have created all these aspects. And once you can take responsibility for this and self-responsibility, it totally shifts the narrative, which is beautiful. And that's when you can get in touch with your divine masculine energy, and you can start making the necessary changes to invoke what you want. Number 3 is to start contacting your inner father. And when I say this, a lot of times we possess many sides of our nature. Like, there is universal deities and archangels, archetypes that are being thrown in every which way. And this carries, regardless of how we look at it, lots of misconstrued energies. One way to awaken your divine masculine energy is to contact your inner father. You need to develop the relationship within yourself, because we are all of light and love Some of us call it God, some of us call it spirit, Gaia, whatever you want to tap into. You need to call in your inner father. Start doing things that nurture you. If you had an absent father, for example, in your life, or people, or there's something that has happened in regards to a father figure that is really put a nail in your movement forward, causing you to have a lot of pain and grief and be stuck in ego mind states, it's really recommended that you look inwards and start asking yourself, if you're acting out like these certain things, how can you nurture yourself? Start being the father to yourself that you wanted throughout your life. A really good way of practicing this is, again, going back to journaling or some kind of form of expression, whether it's painting, poetry, writing. Some will tap into tarot for guidance, and just asking your inner father to give you the information that you need going forward. There's many other options. Music is definitely one of them. Find what creative element and practice works for you. And remember, when you're channeling your inner father, it is about healing that inner wound within you, that feeling that goes unnoticed. And when you start doing this, you're going to things are going to shift around you, because you're going to start feeling that unconditional love that you didn't feel at some point in your life. Okay, number 4, we have deconstructing your conditioning. We've all been conditioned in one form or another, whether it is through media, through family, through friends, through like religious groups. There's so many different things coming at us every day in the 3D dimension on this planet at this time. There's so many different influences that try to tell us what is right and what is wrong. So we collectively and individually carry with us so much baggage. And when it comes to defining masculinity, we forget. And because we've been conditioned, there's a lot of sayings. For example, men shouldn't cry. When a man cries, well, they must be a sissy, which is so not true. Like, crying, that's a man tapping into his femininity. That's him getting in touch with his feelings. It's very important. There's also things, stereotypes like, oh, a man must be a super provider, so he must have a really good job to pay for the head of the household, to take care of all of this and that. This has been programmed into us. You have to have a successful career. It doesn't matter if you don't like it or not, as long as you're being the breadwinner. These are things that we've been told in our culture. We've been told that male is primarily logic and left brain oriented. We've been told that men have interest in only sports and cars and women. We've been told that they are the protectors of women and children, that male must be dominating over women, both physically, sexually, and career-wise. They have to have a higher stance than women. Men have also been told that it's expected for them to be aggressively self-confident, and that they must look strong and have a huge muscly physique. These kind of conditions make a lot of men that don't meet these standards feel left out, and they wound up constantly asking themselves why they don't fit that norm. And the reason why they don't fit that norm is because it's not normal, okay? These things have been programmed into many of us since childhood. And once you discover what your culture has taught you about men and how you're supposed to be perceived and what you're supposed to do, you will be more capable of consciously redefining the masculinity within you. This will allow you to develop healthier relationships with not only yourself, but your inner divine masculine. So constantly ask yourself, what would a mature and balanced masculine role model look like to me? And right there in that question, you're going to get downloaded with all the things that you know intuitively a male is supposed to do. And if these other points that I popped up come up, ask yourself why those thoughts and beliefs are there. Is it because someone told you that that's it? Or is it because you truly believe that that's what a male is supposed to be? And once you work through these two different sides, you can see that all this stuff isn't exactly what is meant. Okay? Number 5, we have find a masculine teacher, a guide, a figure, someone male, a good role model. And if you don't have, like, excuse me, If you don't have someone in your life that you consider a good male role model that's putting divine masculine energy out there, you can look in your circle. If they're not there, if you everywhere you're looking, it's toxicity, it's just bad examples of what you're trying to strive for, then don't go to those people because they're reflecting to you what you don't want. Start looking for outside sources. Like there are teachers that are very much, they embody the divine masculine on all accounts, okay? So we have deceased teachers out there like the Buddha. He was a prime example of what masculine energy was. He projected love and creativity in such a pure masculine form. There's also teachers out there that are alive today, like Mojai, I think that's how you pronounce it. Um, Also Eckhart Tolle. Like there's the Dalai Lama. These all also embody divine masculine, true divine masculine qualities. Don't be afraid to also look at some fictional heroes or even mythical gods that embody the guidance that you are looking for, because these deities are put in place for you to not to worship or idolize. Don't ever get stuck there, but they're there for you to admire and respect and to learn certain traits that you aren't being taught in your immediate surroundings. That they're going to help you, again, with the last quote, to get out of these self-limiting beliefs. They're going to show you how to embody your divine masculine to do better and bring better towards you, because that's where it starts, and then that's going to shine out. Ultimately, it's important to learn from these role models. Why? Because they help you express your inner divine masculine. When we go to connecting with your inner warrior, I love this. Inner warrior is another face or expression of the divine masculine. Don't mistake what I'm saying, though, as the way that most warriors are portrayed in modern times. Your inner warrior is not interested in domineering, killing others, or fighting for peace. This is where a lot of times it gets misconstrued in the 3D, our world plane. Your inner warrior is about protection and about supporting you. He takes no bullshit. He will literally define rights of peace, but he will do it in such an assertive way that is beautiful. He will cut through lies and bullshit, and he will see with clarity, authenticity. He will bring truth, courage, and inner strength towards your inner masculine. He will bring out energies of life force within you, and he would awaken your actual true divine masculine. When we recreate within this wholeness and deep within ourselves, within our inner masculine, it builds a strong connection to our inner energy, back to source. And with this, you can look at more of your inner warrior. What is your inner warrior's personality? Who is he? How does he enjoy doing things? What does he enjoy in life? How does he want to appear in life? What benefits do you think could present themselves in your life? Think about this question for a while. If you tap truly into your divine warrior, what do you think is going to be more prevalent within your surroundings? What do you think would shift and change? For example, when you connect with your inner warrior, what happens is, a way to do this, you start tapping into, say, yang yoga, becoming an activist, doing guided visualizations, getting into meditation, doing exercise can invoke this, artistic self-expression. There's so many ways that you can get into this martial arts, and it will help you visualize and create and get rid of that pent-up energy to balance shit out. When you do this, you awaken your inner warrior, which makes you bring about more love, understanding, and awareness into your consciousness right now. Number 7, being assertive and sticking up for ourselves. It's extremely important. In regards to being assertive, that does not mean to be confrontational. It does not mean to be bringing about anger or anything, throwing your words into another person's face. Being assertive is being respectful to yourself and your needs. It's about laying healthy boundaries and about being true to yourself. For example, if you're a quiet person, for example, an introvert, it's likely that you suffer from assertiveness. And one of the best ways to start being assertive is to define, oh my God, I can't talk. Define your needs. What needs within yourself are not being met? What needs within your inner masculine is not being met? How do you feel like your boundaries are being pushed or overstepped? Being assertiveness requires courage and strength, and it is hard to take the first step. Trust me, I know. I am like the queen of trying. I had to learn through a lot of trial and error how to finally speak my truth and step up my boundaries because I felt walked on by a lot of people and I allowed it for many, many years. So remember that your needs and your opinions and your feelings, they are valid. And they need to be validated to other people so that they know where you stand. And when you do this, what happens is you step into your divine masculine traits. You're no longer going at people in an aggressive manner and lashing out. Okay. Number 8, standing in a way of confidence, guys. Okay. So body language is very apparent here. And it's part of how you impact the world, how people feel about you, and how you feel about yourself. With this experiment for a moment, let your shoulders drop forward, hunch yourself over, cross your arms, and go into a C shape. When you're doing this, how are you feeling right now? Now straighten your back up and put your shoulders and your chest out, exposing yourself in an L shape. How do you feel now? You probably, to begin with, when you were hunched over, it made you feel weak, sickly, like you weren't protecting yourself. When you stand up and you're going forward, your body is you're feeling your body exposing all elements of yourself. You feel empowered. It makes you shine more confidence because you're no longer hiding. You're not crunched over trying to pretend like your feelings don't matter. You're just like, okay, I'm here. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. And this may be something very foreign to some of you masculines out there, like to the masculine side of all of us. At first, when you start doing this, it's very uncomfortable and it's very foreign to start doing this and to improving your posture and see, because you've been so used to hiding for so long that any steps out of that comfort zone feels unsafe. But the more you start repeatedly doing this, it gives unconscious signals to your brain that you are confident, you are calm, and you are secure within yourself. And then that will begin to start shining out of you naturally without you even having to think about it, which is wonderful. Last but not least for today, we have stop being possessive and start being active. Okay. We are initiators, givers within our relationships. A lot of times we overly give. We take the initiative to go after what we have set as goals. We make plans and we work towards dreams. But the thing is, don't overly do this. It is good to go after what you want. It is good to tap into that masculine energy and strive and make those goals and those plans and start delivering it. But you need to be persistent and check yourself on, is it for your highest good, or are you doing this out of an egoic state? When sometimes too, guys, after you check yourself, when you make these plans, we become stagnant and we don't actually go after the things that we want. We hold ourselves back and we make ourselves apathetic and lazy. So it's about finding the balance. Feed your inner fire. Do what you feel is necessary, but always checking yourself if it is coming from a place of lack. Are you doing these things? Are you trying to go after this job because you feel that you need to provide? This goes back to the self-limiting thoughts. Are you trying to do this because you need a lot of money, because you need to you feel that that's your duty as a masculine? Or are you doing it because, I want to do better for myself? Figure out what you're doing, why you're doing it, and don't do it because someone's told you to. Don't be passive about it. Be active. Take initiative. And it starts right now. Okay, guys? So I really hope that this helped you. I'm going to bring a few more videos here soon about stuff like this. If there's anything that you want to see me, a topic that you want to see me talk about, please, again, put it in the description box or in the comments down below. Check out my description box, and if there's anything that you need to work on with me one-on-one, all my information's there so you can get in touch with me. And yeah, so much love, guys. I appreciate you for coming here with me today, again, like always, and I will see you again shortly. Bye.